Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. We are ready for another sustainability talk. And I just have to say, I'm delighted that I decided to go on a very specific day, every Tuesday, 12 noon, so European time, to talk about the areas within the sustainability methodology that really creates a high level of success. And today I'm gonna say I'm super excited to talk about what really means a lot to me, and that is about living in your zone of genius and figuring out what is your zone of genius, because we really need to understand and dive in and say, what is my zone of genius? So for those of you joining me live, I am thrilled to see you. And if you are catching up on the replay, please go ahead and type any questions, any comments, because I promise that I will get back to you with some thoughts. And very often what I do experience is when I hear from you, my horizon is really opening up as well. I can say that one of the key to my growth in the work that I do is the question my clients are asking themselves. So if you're sitting with questions that you're asking yourself, please go ahead and share them, DM me, and let's kind of play with these questions. Now, what I want to share very quickly is, I think on Instagram it's a bit difficult to see it because it's like, I don't know, like mirror. But what I want to talk about is the sustainability model on LinkedIn. I can show it here. So the sustainability model starts with the inner journey, and it starts with the self-awareness. It continues then with this part over here. Oh, this is difficult. It's over here with, when we're tapping into our understanding, deeper understanding, and understand how the body is speaking to us, and if we understand the way our body is kind of speaking to us through a lot of things, that could be pain points, but also excitement, a lot of things will change for us. And then the last part here is the creativity part. So last week I spoke about this area of purpose. How do you discover your purpose? And today I'm going to talk about the living in your zone of genius, which is down here. And what is basically your zone of genius? What is that thing? Well, your zone of genius is when you feel that work isn't work. When you feel that time is supporting you whilst you're working on something, and then yet you're not rushing against time, but you're in the space of just free flow. It's when you're stepping out of thinking about yourself or about the outcome, you're completely just into what you're doing, and it makes you feel alive in a certain way. It is your zone of genius is where work doesn't feel like work. It is actually, and this is what I want to share, it is the state where you are producing the highest level of financial abundance with literally no effort. This is the place, and this is where we want to be in our life. This is where the organization that you're working for will really tap into a resource that they need to produce more and higher results and be able to give more back, double bottom line, give back to society and create growth on several levels. It is also where you, as an entrepreneur, when you know your zone of genius, you know where you are going to sit and produce the highest level of magic in your work. And you are therefore going to delegate things that is not your zone of genius to other people so that you can spend more time in this very productive place, this place where you have the highest level of financial abundance with the least effort. So mark this, your zone of genius is literally where you're producing the highest level of abundance, financial abundance, meaning income, results, creating what you really want in life with literally no effort. So today I wanted to just talk about how do we step into that. I'm going to step into Gay Hendricks' work. Gay Hendricks is the author of The Big Leap. And there are two concepts in The Big Leap. It's your upper limit problem. It's like basically when you are in flow, doing what you love, and suddenly you think, what will happen if I really succeed? And you're starting to self-sabotage. That is the upper limit problem. Now, the other part is your zone of genius. How do you commit to living your life in your zone of genius? And he has produced two sets of questions that is bringing these answers to you. And they are so powerful. Can you imagine what it would be like to know so well your zone of genius that you can almost by demand just step into that and then kind of say, this is where I want to be. So for me, when I discovered and really understood what my zone of genius was all about, I created my business around that. I realized through doing my work that I brought a unique ability to the table, and that unique ability was so inspiring to me and to other people that I decided to step in fully working with it, which is what I do today. And one of the things that I started to really understand was I asked myself, what is it that I really love to do? Like, what is it that I really love? I love it so much that I can do it for long, long, long stretches of time. And I went back to my corporate job and I realized that my what I really loved to do was to be with people and be connected with people. But got curious about what is my like unique ability. What is it that is uniquely me when I stepping into something? This is my uniqueness. This is my superpower, and I bring that out to people. And I realized it was this magic that it could be whether I was sitting with one of my team members or it was actually sitting with one of my customers who was preparing a global communication and marketing plan. And they were a bit stuck in seeing the bigger picture. Now, what I realized was that my unique ability was that I could literally see the person in front of me, and I could so deeply understand where they wanted to go that I could see a vision of what they were where they were heading, but they were actually standing in their own way. They couldn't actually see it themselves. So when I was with customers or was with my teams, I saw that, you know what, you are able to achieve your results. I can see how you're stepping into that. And through me seeing that and believing in them and really connecting the dots of explaining some of the hows to do it, this is how we can do it, the aha moment came and the belief came back to themselves and they went out and actually did it. I realized that that is my zone of genius. And that is basically, well, that's not my zone of genius, that is my unique ability where I really thrive, where I really felt on top of the world. Now, that led me to thinking about what do I love to do? And I realized that I loved being together with people. So now I started to ask myself, where is it that any organization that I work for or client that I work with will get the most out of me when I do what I love doing? And again, I saw it was in connection. I was sitting down, I could visualize being in connection with people. So when I merge these two things together, the ability of seeing other people's greatness, seeing your greatness, working with a leader who is building her team and wanting to take the organization to that next level. For me, being able to sit with that client and say, this is what I see, and putting these dots together, now I could do what I love doing. I could bring my unique ability together. And as a result of that, I'm doing my work. So I do my work every single day from that level, which is my zone of genius. Now, the question that you might be curious about, how do you actually discover it? And I'm going to upload the document, which is put together by Gay Hendricks, the author behind the book, The Big Leap. And I highly recommend you to read that book if you're keen on actually stepping into that high level of energy where you are doing things that is producing energy. Because what is magic with this work is that when you are spending time in the zone of your unique ability, you just do it, and you're actually doing what you love. You are now generating energy, and when you're generating energy, you get actually more things done in a shorter period of time. And you now see how time is working with you instead of against you, because you are in your zone. So what I'm going to do is going to upload, you're going to be able to find a link with these questions, and I invite you to take the time to go in and ask yourself these questions. But basically there are two parts of these questions. It's part one and part two. And what we start with is to step into a mindset of wonder. It's not like I'm looking for what I love to do. No, you are going to step into wonder about what is it that you love to do. So think about that. What work can I do that doesn't seem like work? Wonder about that. What is it that I love to do? So that is that first question. Use that, I wonder. The second question is, what work can I do that doesn't seem like work? Like when you're doing work that doesn't feel like a burden, it's where you are not having this feeling of criticism. What kind of work is that? And like, what if I were doing more of that? What if I was stepping into that more than anything else? Now, the third question is a very powerful question. I love this. And when I realized my insight, it made me use this specific part every single day in my work and in my living, actually. And the question is this: in my work, what produces the highest ratio of abundance and satisfaction to the amount of time spent? Now, let me repeat that again for you. In my work, what produces the highest ratio of abundance and satisfaction to the amount of time spent? So basically, what is it that you can do? It could be maybe 10 seconds that create the biggest results. Like personally, I've experienced where I have been sitting literally in my bathtub. I always call my bathtub as my as my extension of my office. And I've been sitting in my bathtub and in complete silence, And suddenly an idea came to me. And that idea was the one that changed a very important part of my business. And suddenly the income doubled super fast because of this one idea. So this is what we're talking about. That thing that you're doing, uh, that that it gives you this feeling of satisfaction and abundance, and suddenly produce the biggest results. So think about that. It could be 10 seconds. Think about, what is it that you love doing that gives you access to things that sometimes is difficult. So what I have done is that I practice every morning, sitting very much in silence, and just paying attention to what shows up for me, like ideas and inspiration. And it's through that I get access to what I really need. And just think about, how often are you asking yourself that, oh, I wish, oh, this was a bit bad light. I wish I had more time. I wish I just had space so that I could think. I just wish people could leave me alone for a bit so I could tap into my brain, my thinking. Yes, very often that is where the big ideas comes from. But you have that zone of yours that is so important. So think about that. Even you might be in a job that you don't find as satisfactory, go looking for and wonder about, what is it in the job that I just like, in the 10 seconds there, means everything, means everything. And I remember a client of mine, she experienced climbing into a dream position to become an executive vice president. And with a job, her corner office came, and, space for herself and all these things. And she came to me, she couldn't understand that she was so unhappy. And what we quickly identified was that the moments of most impact in her day, when she was connecting with herself and the work she was doing, was through the work she was doing with other people. So literally sitting outside and being together with other people. So she actually decided to spend more time together with her team. And now, being more in her zone, she started to enjoy work again. So that's why this is so powerful. Now, the fourth one is very important. What unique ability of mine, if fully realized and put to work, can provide enormous benefit for myself and for any organization that I serve? Think about that. What unique ability of mine, if fully realized and put to work, can provide enormous benefits to me and any organization that I serve? As I share with myself, my unique ability is to sit one-on-one or with a group of people and deeply listen to what they say, and the ability I have to see their almost their dream, and I can see it in that person of how they can put these things into realization. And when I'm doing that, um, I I produce value. And this is when I'm thinking, when I was in corporate, when I really produced the highest value of financial abundance was when I'm spending most of my time on two things: with my team, doing this and driving them forward to believing in themselves so they could go out with that mindset to work with their customers. That was one. And the second one was, I was working with my customers myself, and I saw the same thing in the person in front of me, and now I could be able to support. That was my unique ability, that if an organization was constantly tapping in on that, would have maximized me as a resource. So the question is, what is yours? What is yours? What is your unique ability that if you're really utilizing it, yourself will benefit from it, but also organization or your business? Because remember, we'll talk about also your business here if you're an entrepreneur. Now, the second part is powerful. The first question you want to ask yourself is, are you going to finish this sentence? I'm the best when I am. Think about, I'm the best when I'm what? I'm best when I'm thinking, when I'm speaking, when I'm communicating, when I'm doodling, or when I'm when are you best? When do you feel your best? When do you feel inspired? Like, when is that? Now, think about the second question. When I am my best, when I'm at my best, let's say, and I'm at my best, feeling confident, feeling inspired, feeling in flow. The exact thing that I'm doing is what? What is the exact thing you're doing when you're feeling this confident, inspired, focused, generating abundance, you're creating your thing? What is that? What are you doing? So again, like I'm stepping just into myself, it's that thing that I'm doing, is that I'm sitting with a person in front of me and I'm curious and I'm listening and I'm thinking, what's going on here? I see this person so much bigger than she sees herself. And now something happens. Okay, what is that for you? When I'm at my best, the exact thing I'm doing is, what is it that you're doing? And now the last and third question is, when I'm doing that, the thing I love the most is, okay, like when I'm doing that, when I'm sitting in front of a client and communicating and seeing these like aha moments and things going on, and I'm seeing them bigger, the exact thing I'm doing is being a facilitator of opportunities and possibilities. The exact thing I'm doing is to create the aha moment where they're like, oh, when they get out of their own way, they see basically what I see, and I see them much bigger than themselves. And that is what I do when I'm doing what I love, and what I do and I love the most is this big thing, this exact insight that's taken place for me. So, what is going on for you when you're thinking about that? What shows up? What's like the, oh, if only I could spend more time in doing this, then I would have so much energy and I would feel so much in flow. What is that? And now, the magic of these questions is that you're going to combine two questions to find actually your zone of genius. Hello there, Dana. Nice to see you. What we want to do is to bring these two questions together. Think about, what unique ability is it that you have that, if it's fully realized and put to work, can provide enormous benefits to yourself and any organization that you serve? Combine that with the question 2 and part 2. When I'm at my best, the exact thing I am doing, and then you look at your answer. When you step in, you know your unique ability, your ability to maybe think in a certain way, engage in a certain way, focus in a certain way. When that, like, and the thing that you're producing is this particular result when you're doing that, and then you look at that and you look at, what exactly are you doing when you're in this state? What is that? Like for me, in communication with people, But maybe for you, it is that time when you're looking at this mathematical spreadsheet or challenge and you're just like zoning in there. That is your moment. Or that you are helping somebody with something. Whatever it is for you, dig in and find that answer. What is your unique ability? Hallelujah. And step into it and think, what is that? You see, when you are spending a bit of time with yourself to discover your zone of genius, you are going to be able to check in. Sorry about that. You're going to be able to check in with yourself where you are going to create the most abundance, financial abundance, with the most ease. You're going to see which organization is a match to you. Instead of you trying to fit yourself into something else, which organization is the match to you when you know that I'm in my zone of genius, I'm doing this, it's creating a lot of energy to me. And if this is creating energy in you, that means that you're living a more abundant life. So knowing this is crucial. So my friends, take the time to identify what is your zone of genius. Download the document that I'm going to put up in a link. It's not created yet, but I'm going to do that, I promise. And sit with it peacefully and quietly and wonder about yourself. Get curious about yourself. Now, I did this work last 2 weeks ago where I run a workshop, which is called Next Level Purpose Workshop. And what we're doing is to go in and discover what is your purpose. Who are you born? What traits are you born with? What are you basically here to do and create? And in that workshop, we are also looking at what is your zone of genius. And when we're combining these two things, now we can see, now we can ask, but why am I not living there? Why do I know all this, but I'm fiddling around over here? So I'm going to run another workshop for a small intimate group. It's in the end of January. I'm going to put up the date soon. And if you're interested, just DM me and see if that could be a right fit for you. Okay. And yeah, I am just so delighted to see you. And if you have any questions, what is showing up for you? Like, I want to ask you, what do you do when you're feeling in flow? Like, if you think about your work, and please type it in the chat. What do you do? What do you love doing? I remember a client of mine, and she said, well, you know what? The thing that I love the most, which was before COVID, and I think that is what I missed the most, is just to connecting with my team around the coffee machine or the water cooler. And we realized that the reason of which she felt work so stressful at the moment was that her moment of being in her unique ability, which is that magic moment of connecting with her people, was gone. It was difficult to do that on Zoom. It became too kind of practical. So we needed to establish other type of routines and figure out how can we do other things that is meeting her need. So the awareness will also give you more understanding as to why you may be feeling a bit low in certain times. Okay, so I am so delighted. Either you're popping it up here on live, or if you're watching this replay, if you have any questions, to pop me a DM. And I go live every Tuesday, 12 noon Central European time, Paris time, Oslo time. Okay, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now.